And in business news, Nigeria's gross domestic products growth declined to 2.98%, lower than 3.46% recorded in the fourth quarter of 2023. According to the latest report from the National Bureau of Statistics, the growth rate is higher than 2.31% recorded in the corresponding quarter of 2023. The performance of GDP in the first quarter of 2024 was primarily driven by the services sector, which grew by 4.32% and contributed 58.06% to the overall GDP. The agricultural sector also saw a modest growth of 0.18%, improving from a decline of minus 0.90% in the first quarter of 2023. The industrial sector experienced a growth of 2.19% compared to 0.31% the same period last year, while services sector contributed more to aggregate GDP in the first quarter of 2024 compared to the corresponding quarter of 2023. United Bank for Africa PLC has declared an increase in its deposit base from 9 billion naira in the previous year to 18 billion naira in the year under review. The chairman of the board of the directors of the Bank for Africa PLC, United Bank for Africa PLC, who revealed this at the 62nd annual general meeting of the bank in Abuja, also declared 2 naira 30 kobo dividends for every 50 kobo ordinary shares. Helen Osamede Ekings reports.
In 2023, the global economy grappled with a multitude of challenges. Acknowledging the impact of these multifaceted challenges, the International Monetary Fund, in its October 2023 update to the World Economic Outlook report, forecast global growth to slow from 3.5% in 2022 to 3.0% in 2023 and 2.9% in 2024.
Many licenses were gotten under average.
Despite this projection, the United Bank for Africa PLC delivered another strong year. At the bank's 62nd annual general meeting, the management declared that the bank successfully sustained its deposit mobilization efforts. Its loan book expanded by 61% to 5.55 trillion naira from 3.44 trillion naira,
generating gross revenue of 1.78 trillion naira. And profit after tax of 609.7 billion naira. We successfully sustained our deposit mobilization efforts, growing total deposit of your bank by 95% from about 9 billion to 9 trillion to 18 trillion, but a doubling of it in the corresponding year.
Last quarter, first quarter, we did 156 billion naira in profit. And that's over 155% of our growth.
On the capitalization of banks, the chairman, board of directors, assured shareholders that the bank will meet the recapitalization deadline.
The capitalization is something that UBA would accomplish before the specified stipulated time frame. And we, the board, have approved, and today shareholders have also supported it, that we do private placements. This private placement will give opportunity to our customers and friends across Africa.
Stakeholders appreciate the bank for its outstanding performance.
Tax even paid to government is over 150 billion, so the bank is contributing toward the development of the economy. We are impressed with a bank that has really achieved much more than any other bank in Nigeria in 2023.
The bank maintained a well-structured and diversified balance sheet, with total assets and shareholders' fund closing at 20.65 trillion naira and 2.03 trillion naira respectively.
The Statistician General of the Federation, Mr. Adeyemi Adeniran, says the National Bureau of Statistics is collaborating with Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria and other stakeholders in the country to come up with data to determine the true figures of the housing deficits in the country. The NBS boss said this in Lagos at the Redden Investiture event. Sunday, Binibo filed this report.
In this hall are government officials, real estate developers, traditional rulers, captains of industry, diplomats, among others. Part of the focus here is to seek ways to address the housing challenges across the country. To tackle these challenges in the real estate sector, The National Bureau of Statistics is partnering with developers, traditional rulers to improve the economy through the provision of affordable housing.
NBS is working with RIDAN to gather data on housing availability and determine the correct housing deficit in Nigeria. This data will guide government, industry players in the real estate sector, and stakeholders in planning and implementing policies to close the gap. I'm confident that NBS and RIDAN will deliver this data swiftly, enabling government and private sectors to achieve the goal of providing affordable housing for all Nigerians.
Hierarchy of needs for humanity. When you talk about food, the next thing is shelter. Whenever you want to drive any economy, you need to rejig the housing policy of any nation.
For the President of Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and others, effective collaboration from all stakeholders will boost Nigeria's economic development and enhance the nation's GDP.
Estate developers must unite, and we must support our collective voices through the association. Our founders envision providing affordable housing for Nigerians, including social and rental housing.
The capital market supports the real estate sector by providing funding and risk management avenues such as real estate investment trusts, equities, bonds, crowdfunding, and financial derivatives.
These stakeholders want the federal government to wake up to the reality of a regional impact the sector has on the economy, while major players must wake up to embrace crowdfunding and new technological trends to further bridge the gap in the housing sector.
Almost finally, weekend deals at the stock market closed in red as many investors and fund managers stayed largely on the sales window. The market index measuring price changes in the trading sector dipped by 0.37% to underscore losses on investment. Some of the companies that made gains on the share prices were International Energy Insurance, Cortex, Jais Bank, Sovereign Insurance, Japan Gold. Downside traders in the business who included PZ, First Bank, Holdings, ETI, and International Breweries. Now, finally, on the news, crude oil prices fell today as investors considered the latest company price of the U.S. Federal Reserve's on interest rates and a sticky inflation, while signs of firming seasonal U.S. fuel demand lent support. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude is down 0.36% to sell at $76.59. Brent is down 0.28%, selling at $81.13 per barrel. Bonnie Light is down 1.07%, selling at $80.81. OPEC basket is down 0.37%, selling at $83.27.